Hey, what is up guys, Woo here back with a brand new video, and today we are going to be doing part 10 of What If Deku Was Quirkless, so let's get started with this. But before we do, let's do a quick recap on what had happened in the last part. Basically, Deku got used to being into the hero course, and right after he did, they started their internships, with Deku going to the same one as Iida. Also, Deku finished developing a new weapon of his, which is a laser sword. So without further ado, let's get started. Deku and Iida look at each other in surprise as they both find out that they are going to the same internships. Deku asks Iida why he chose this agency, and Iida, without revealing his true intentions, tells Deku that he is there because he wants to be, and that it is none of his business. Iida then asks Deku the same question, and Deku explains to him that Manuel's agency was the only agency willing to pick him up, and that most agencies probably didn't want to pick him up since he was quirkless. Manuel sees the kids conversing and decides to interrupt the conversation, saying hi to both of the students and asking if they would like to go out on patrol. Deku and Iida both agree and get changed into their hero costumes. Iida walks out of the dressing room in his suit, and as he looks at Deku, he asks why his suit looks so weird and funny, and that he should file a complaint to the company that made his outfit if they had messed up the design. Deku quickly snaps back at Iida, telling him that his mom had made the costume after she heard that he had made it into the hero course. Deku looks at himself in the mirror, then tells Iida that he doesn't care how it looks, and that he will wear the suit proudly since his mother had made it for him. Iida quickly apologizes, telling Deku that he wasn't aware that there was sentimental value in his costume. Deku says it's fine, and then they both leave the agency to go out on their patrol. Manuel starts to try to teach them about some hero basics while they are out on patrol, but then he sees that Deku and Iida are thinking about other things. Manuel asks Deku if he is okay, and Deku replies telling him that he is perfectly fine, but he just got lost in thought. He tells Manuel not to worry about him if he does this, since he does it all the time. Deku then starts to ask Manuel about his quirk to try to find out more information, since he wanted to take more notes on it. He says that it's complicated, but basically he can manipulate any water that is around him, but he can't shoot water out of his hands or generate it. It has to be around him for him to use the water. Deku looks in amazement and then starts to compliment Manuel for a little bit. After Manuel and Deku are done talking, they see a crime happen. Manuel tells Deku to go and try to stop the crime. Deku looks at Manuel with confusion, and then Manuel starts to explain himself. He states to Deku that, unlike Iida, Deku has no experience fighting villains since he wasn't in the hero course during the USJ attack. Deku agrees with Manuel and then gets himself ready. He walks into the alley where the crime is happening and activates his gauntlets. He yells at the criminal, asking him what he is doing. The villain turns around and points a gun at Deku. Deku gets scared as he hears the gun go off and instantly activates his boots and jumps it up in the air. Deku, taking advantage of how up he is, he starts to angle his hand, activating the shooter mode in his gauntlets. He aims at the criminal with air flowing all around him, charging his gauntlet, and yells "Mini Hurricane," hitting the criminal, knocking him out since the villain was off guard. Deku celebrates that he took down his first villain, but then realized that he was still in the air and falls, landing on some trash bags that were on the floor. Meanwhile, a few days after Deku had taken down his first criminal, the League of Villains tried to recruit Stain, but were ultimately unsuccessful. As Stain leaves the League of Villains hideout, the leader Tomura Shigaraki decides to attack the town that Stain wanted to go back to, which was Hosu City. His right-hand man, Kurogiri, asks Tomura if he is sure about attacking Hosu, since he doesn't have the original Nomu that had given All Might a hard time. Tomura smiles and tells Kurogiri that he has plenty of Nomu to use. Deku and Iida start doing their daily patrol, but this time at night, when all of a sudden they hear an explosion go off. Iida looks in horror and quickly whispers to himself, saying, "Stain can't be far away," and sprints off. Deku looks at Iida in confusion, asking him what he had said, and then tries to follow him, but is stopped by Manuel, and Manuel warns Deku to stay with him. Deku yells out, saying that he heard Iida mention Stain the hero killer under his breath. Manuel yells, saying, "Damn it, Iida, you let your thirst for vengeance get the better of you." Deku looks at Manuel, asking him what he means, and he tells Deku that Iida's brother was greatly injured by Stain. His brother was in Genium, and he was so badly injured that he had to retire. Deku looks at Manuel in horror as another explosion goes off. Then Deku quickly turns around and activates his boots, leaping high in the air. He yells to Manuel that if that is the case, then he has to find Iida. That way he can back him up if the hero killer is truly in town, landing on top of the building, and then Deku starts to hop, building to building. Iida eventually runs into the right alley and sees Stain, who is ready to kill the hero native. Iida yells out in pure rage, saying that he will make the hero killer pay for what he did to his brother, and tries to kick Stain, but misses. Stain leaps back, telling Iida that it was pretty foolish to try to hit him while yelling, and that he might have actually hit him if he didn't yell. Iida tells Stain that he doesn't care what he thinks, and that he is a villain that hurt his brother. Iida goes for another attack, but this time Stain goes for a counter and pins down Iida with his sword. Then he gets the blood from the sword and licks it, freezing Iida. Iida starts to panic and starts yelling to Stain that he will kill him. Stain looks at Iida with disappointment, saying that he does what he does since he is trying to cleanse the world of its fake heroes, only letting the real heroes live in the new society that he is creating. He points out to Iida that if he was a true hero, instead of going for the kill, he would have tried to save Native first. Iida disregards what Stain had said and said that he doesn't care what Stain thinks. He hurt his brother and he will get his revenge. Stain sighs, saying, "Then you deserve to die." And as he is going for the kill, Deku jumps in, punching Stain in the face, yelling, "Power punch." Deku then turns around, asking Iida if he is okay. Iida yells that he is fine, but he can't move, and then he proceeds to ask the question how Deku had gotten there in time. Deku tells Iida that he doesn't need to worry about that right now, and he needs to hurry up and move so he can grab that pro hero over there and get out of there while he distracts the hero killer. Stain looks at Deku, laughing at him, asking him how he thinks he can do that, but Deku ignores Stain and tells Iida to hurry up and get out of there. Iida tells him again that he can't move, his body is stiff, then yells to Deku that this is none of his business and that he should run away. Deku looks at Iida with anger in his eyes, saying that he can't truly believe that, and if he does, then why is he trying to be a hero? Deku continues, saying that there are a lot of things I want to say right now, but I'll save it for later. All I know is that meddling when you don't need to is the essence of being a true hero. Stain smiles, getting excited, yelling, "Finally, someone who gets what it means to be a true hero," and gets into a stance and starts to get ready for the fight. Deku grabs a hilt that was on his belt and sprints towards Stain. Stain laughs, saying, "You plan on attacking me with just a hilt that doesn't have a blade? That's your death then, hero." As Stain swings his sword, Deku activates the hilt, and a laser comes out of the hilt, colliding with the sword, chipping Stain's sword. Deku smiles, saying that it actually works, as Stain backs off, asking Deku what that is. Deku said that he was born quirkless, and that he always wanted to be a hero, but the world had told him that he couldn't, so he spent his entire life trying to be a hero, to prove people wrong, and the society, since that was all he ever wanted. So he developed weapons to deal with the fact that he didn't have a quirk, showing people that you can be a hero regardless of if you have a quirk or not. Stain looks at Deku, telling him that it's very noble of him, but he won't let that stop his mission, and charges right back at him. Deku prepares himself and then swings his sword, but this time he misses as Stain jumps over him to try to kill Iida. But Deku was prepared for that and activates the jets on his boots and does a spin kick, hitting Stain on the side, sending him flying. Stain jumps back up, readying himself, and pulls knives out and throws them at Deku. Deku quickly turns up the power of the laser sword and breaks most of the knives in half, only missing one, which cuts him. Deku, filled with adrenaline, doesn't feel the pain and throws the laser sword at Stain, making him jump. And then Deku switches his gauntlets to shooter mode and activates all the fingers at once, yelling Mega Hurricane. All the air bullets converge into one giant attack that hits Stain. Deku quickly moves forward, grabbing his sword, and then notices that it's about to short out and turns it off. He looks up and notices that Stain is gone, and as he panics, he is stuck, still paralyzed. Stain says that he's an excellent fighter, but sadly wasn't skilled enough as he is about to go for the kill. A giant fire blast stops him from killing Iida. Todoroki walks in the alley saying, "Thank God we gave you our numbers, Midoriya." Boom! And that is it for this video, guys. So if you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Let's make this video hit, I don't know, let's say 450 likes. I don't know. We're going to make it a little easier than normal like goals. So if you guys hit 450 likes, I will release What If Deku Was Quirkless Part 11. But I'll make sure it's just as long as this one, and it will take longer to come out. So if you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, favorite, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.